So recently I was asked, how do you find and keep good subcontractors? And there's a few things I've learned over the years, and I guess pieces of advice that I would give someone that's a contractor. Two big ones would be just treat others as you want to be treated. I mean, that's the golden rule, right? Like if you're treating your subcontractors poorly, they're not going to stick around. You'll probably have a hard time keeping bad subcontractors around if you treat them if you treat them bad enough. But to keep the good ones around, they generally or they genuinely need to want to work with you. Good subcontractors are going to want to be used by a lot of different people, and they're going to be able to choose which contractors they work for and which contractors they don't. And anybody that's worth their salt that's been in business any length of time, they're going to get to a point in business where they're going to be able to pick and choose who they work with. So your job as a contractor is to treat them well. And that means having all your ducks in a row, having clear communication with them and the client, and making sure that you're setting them up for success. That also means paying them on time. Most subcontractors that I work with want to be paid immediately or within a couple days of them completing that phase of work. So if it's an electrical subcontractor, once the rough end's done, they're going to want to get paid. The plumber's going to want to get paid as soon as his rough end is done or as soon as his trim out's done. So if you're not running your business properly and you don't have your financial, stuff squared away with your contract with your client, and you don't have the money to pay those subcontractors on time, they're going to find someone else to work for that has the working capital to pay them when they need to get paid. As you could imagine, if you're a subcontractor and you've got 10 contractors that want your business, but you can really only service 5 of them, you're going to pick the ones that treat you well and pay you on time. It's kind of a no-brainer. So as contractor, we have to come up with ways to orient our contract structure and to just run our business in a way that we've always got the time and attention to give the subcontractors what they need. So we're not leaving them, hanging, wondering what the plan is, or, not having the right materials or supplies on hand, when they show up. But also that means having the working capital to pay them when, whenever they're needing to get paid. And I think that the third thing would kind of come with that, and that would just be loyalty. If you've got somebody you work with and you know somebody that you trust, stick with them. And at the same time, I'll throw in a fourth thing. If you've got a subcontractor that you've been using for, it doesn't even matter how long, it's been like 5 years or 10 years you've been using them, and they're like just passable, or you feel like you have to keep talking them into doing this or doing that, and it feels like you're kind of having to push them to do their job, don't hesitate to find someone else and try someone new. And that's been a really hard thing for me to do, because I'm over loyal. That was the third thing. Sometimes I'm over loyal, and I'll keep using someone even though I feel like I'm having to do a lot of extra work and that they're not really interested in doing the job for me. So the last thing would just be, don't be afraid to try someone new and bring new people into the team, because sometimes just because a relationship worked for a year or two or however many years doesn't mean you need to keep doing doesn't mean you need to keep having that relationship. Maybe your business has changed a little bit and your needs are different. Maybe their business has changed. Maybe it's scaled up or scaled down and it's no longer a good fit. So, don't be afraid to try someone new. Anyway, those are 4 things that I can think of off the top of my head that would help you in business as a contractor, and your, dealing in your relationship with your subcontractors, and keeping good ones around. Anyway, I hope this blesses you in some way, and good luck out there.